What's up, my WeldTube family? It's your boy Matt, here with my buddy Travis. We're here at Appleton, Wisconsin at the one and only Miller HQ. And today, we're doing a 12-inch standard wall, 6010, 7018 uphill off the 350 FieldPro with this awesome new TIG stick remote.
This is going to be nice because we are also going to be using the Hobart 6010 electrodes. So
it's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Stay tuned, guys.
So basically today in this video we'll be using the Miller XMT 350 FieldPro. Do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, the FieldPro is stick and TIG capable. This one we don't have to change your leads when you're 200 feet away. I can simply push the button and we can actually change the polarity for us automatically. So stick and TIG arcs are designed specifically around that piping side of it. We also have a remote that allows us to be able to be 200 feet away from the power source and be able to make all of our changes and get actual amperages out where we're working. So the remote itself looks just like the face of the power source and allows us to make all of those changes just like we were working at the power source. So it allows us to change our amperage as well as change our from stick to TIG. So anything that we could set at the face of the power source, we actually can set on the remote out where we're working without having to go down, up and down scaffolding or any type of thing like that.
All right, guys, we're about ready to start getting after this. Again, I'm using the XMT FieldPro 350 for my side. Again, 6010 uphill route, 7018 uphill fill and cap. And my brother Travis here, he's gonna be using the Miller Pipeworks 400 on the stick side. So let's see how it goes. We're really looking forward to this new technology. We're gonna kill it for you guys, so stay tuned. We're gonna get going here any minute.
Basically on this 12-inch 375 wall, we have kind of a setup more so like pipeline welding. So basically, rather than having two different techniques, we could just use either downhill welding technique or uphill welding technique. So essentially we will be dragging the root pass in. If there's any variances, we can step little micro steps. But essentially we will be using this particular remote right here. And we have the stick setting, TIG setting, 610, 17. And basically we have it about 80 amps. We may adjust while welding. Also to adjust the arc characteristics. Basically we hold down the stick button and it'll come up to, there we go. Now we can adjust the arc characteristics basically. So right now we have it about 52. If we decrease it, it'll make the weld puddle wetter, softer, it doesn't have as much drive, much dig and all that. Take a little bit longer so the heat will solidify and linger around in the weld puddle. Whereas if we increase, make it more stiffer, then we have more driving, digging, chewing arc that's narrow bead, high crown, and very aggressive. So right now we have kind of a middle of the road basically. So a nice, basically what we'll be doing is when we snuff the electrode in there, we'll have enough liquidness in the weld puddle to make it where it catches all the edges and it's not chewing, digging, we won't get internal undercut, that kind of thing. So that's why we have it kind of middle of the road 52.
All right, guys, so we're done putting our root pass in uphill. We're gonna go ahead and do a downhill 6010 hot pass and smoke it in. So I'm gonna adjust my machine up a little bit, probably about 95 amps to 100 amps or so. And we're gonna run a downhill hot pass again with a 6010 rod, and then we're gonna go ahead and fill cap out with a 7018 going back up.
On this 6010 downhill hot pass, it's important that you just want to wash side to side over your root and kind of burn into the walls. The point of this is to, if there's any wagon tracks or any trash trapped in there that you couldn't get out with the grinder or wire wheel or whatnot, now's the time to burn it out, because once we bury that over with the 7018, you're not going to be able to get to it. So it's important to crank your machine up a little bit, burn it in, get all that trash out, give you a nice clean surface to start your fill and caps. So once you get that hot pass in there, it's important now, you want to buff that bead out, get it as clean as you can. Again, taking cheap insurance here, make sure you hit it, clean all that trash. The last thing you want to do is trap anything and have to come back and make a repair later on. So now's the time. As you're going step by step, after each bead, do a quick inspection. You always have to be the inspector of your own weld. So give your quick inspection, give it a good once over. If you have any high spots on a tie-in, knock it down. Now's the time to knock it down with the grinder, because as you go out, each imperfection is going to build. So when you get to that cap, you don't want any high and low spots. So it's important that you keep it nice and smooth throughout the process. Now we're going to fill this guy up. You want to take your time. You really want to hold the walls. Give a nice 1-2 count on the toes. Quick across the middle. Again, if you take too much time getting across the middle, you're going to have a nice hump like if you were doing anything else, MIG, anything uphill progression. You want to be quick across the middle. Hold those toes for a good 2 count, and then quick back across the middle, just tracing that leading edge of your puddle. Now we're getting going here on our cap. I chose a 2-stringer bead cap, or Travis is gonna attack it with a weave. Same, you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I just feel more comfortable personally running stringer beads. And most of the jobs I've been on in the States here, more than likely will require a stringer bead. Most places like that. Occasionally you can get away with a weave, but it's just what I'm comfortable with. It's what I tend to use mostly. So I chose to do a stringer bead. Where on the other side, Travis, he's using a weave. So 2 different ways to do the same process. It's really what you're comfortable with and what the inspector will allow. Here we just kind of took the liberty for educational purposes to show you 2 different techniques. You can see here, again, after each bead, just quick buff it out with a nice wire wheel. Cleanliness is godliness, okay? You don't want to trap any trash. So just keep up with it as you go. I know a lot of people are always wondering, what do I look at while I'm welding? It's one thing to look at the puddle and the electrode, but you really want to look behind your puddle, where it's turning from that bright liquid orange into a darker amber color, because that's the metal you're actually leaving behind. So that's how you can tell if you're having undercut, if you're waiting long enough to let that puddle build behind you to carry that metal to cover up any undercut you might leave. So it's important that you're not just looking at your puddle, but you're looking about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch behind your puddle, so you know exactly what you're leaving behind. That's where your eyes should be.
All right, guys, we just wrapped up this 12-inch 375 wall. We both chose kind of a different operation. Travis did a weave single pass cap. I chose stringers. Travis, tell us a little bit how you like those rods, how they reacted.
I know the electrodes are actually quite nice. We used Hobart brand 6010, Hobart 7018. Quite nice electrodes. I know they have a lot of dig and drive for the 6010, and we'll also use the 6010 for the hot pass there. You know, in hindsight, maybe next time I'll fit my side up a little bit tighter, because these actually have quite a lot of drive. At the bottom is stepping in a little bit because I couldn't really push in so much drive and push and dig, but they're nice. Very nice rods.
Thanks again for tuning in today, guys. I'm Matt Arnold, Warrior Welding TX out of Dallas. My buddy here, Travis.
My Instagram is @TravisField. There's also @Legion7075.
We'll be here all week. We got plenty more material to cover. We're doing chrome this afternoon. Super excited about that. So stay tuned with us on this journey here again at Appleton, Wisconsin, Miller HQ. We'll be back next time. All right, guys.